Oh yeah, but she was still had a cult following.
No.
There was no.
Hold on.
Let's try it again, though, George.
We're back. Hey, that's kind of. We're back.
He's back. Okay, so our second movie is a movie called Benedetta.
That is your movie.
Susie's movie. That's my movie. How do you say that guy's name? Paul Verhoeven.
Verhoeven. But
Paul Verhoeven.
here's the trailer.
Okay, so
So here we go.
trailer. What?
Trailer.
Benedetta,
Yeah.
viens à
Her
moi.
name is Virginia.
J'arrive,
Oh, No, she
Seigneur.
looks like somebody we all know.
J'arrive.
Oh,
I think she's
That's
French.
Charlotte Rampling.
On comprend
Yes,
pas toujours les
she
noms,
was.
au nom de Dieu.
Yes.
she was very good.
She's like a famous
The
actor. Is she
the
French?
amazing.
Un couvent n'est pas un lieu de charité, cher enfant.
I've seen.
Dieu te
Oh,
parlera
so
dans
they
cette
do bring
langue.
up the natural aspect.
Ça m'effraie.
Benedetta, viens à moi.
Yeah, see, look at that. Basically, she provoked. And L, in fact, that's.
Jésus-Christ a choisi notre bienheureuse sœur, Benedetta.
Sainte Benedetta.
Vous avez un doute?
La fille était au lit. Aucun miracle ne se produit dans un lit, croyez-moi. Benedetta nous dupe. Tout cela est déjà allé assez loin. Nous devons
Vous voulez
vraiment...
nous attirer les foudres du ciel?
Were you raised Catholic?
Tu es une fille intelligente.
We're
Oh,
Canadians, so
but-
they're Catholics are
intelligente, ça peut
very
être dangereux, ma
strong.
petite.
Got put in different religions, yeah.
No, but
Signe de Dieu, un avertissement.
you want
La
to be
peste
honest
va
with
s'abattre sur péché.
Because they're fun, because they're great. I went to Catholic school.
Je ne sais pas comment Dieu fait arriver les choses.
And in
C'est moi qui ai
Canada,
compris
they're
sa volonté à
equal, like
travers
the public school, Catholic school, they both consider equal.
N'ayez crainte.
You can either.
La comète est le signe que le Seigneur nous protège.
Et Dieu n'est contraint par aucune loi écrite.
Jouez avec moi si jouez avec les cieux.
Je n'ai de désir que pour toi.
Après tout ce dont tu étais témoin.
On the floor because but she was wearing all white in the church. Yeah. Okay,
There you go.
here we go. So,
Explain this movie, Sue.
okay. This was actually a book. It was written by Judith C. Brown. It was called Immodest Acts: The Life of a Lesbian Nun in Renaissance Italy. Okay, when I was like, okay, I have to read this book. It's just so David Burke and Paul
Verhoeven.
Thank you, wrote the screenplay. This is a historically true story of a real nun who lived in northern Italy in the small village of Pescia. I think that's funny. Pescia, I wonder if that means fish, because it's like, you know, it sounds like it. In the 17th century, Benedetta Carlini, played by Virginia Efira, had a relationship with another nun called Bartolomeo. She was played by Daphne Patachia, while she was the abbess of the convent of the Mother of God. When I was watching another movie. I had no idea what this previews came on. This had the nuns, like the 1600s. I was like, okay, I'm there.
Right.
I'm there.
Right.
It looked great.
And we were there.
Yeah. However, this is a French movie. You have to read the titles. It's subtitled. And I'm sorry, but I find French movies the most interesting. They just have an interesting way of looking at very ordinary things, right? So I really like that. So we start with this rather precocious 9-year-old child from a prominent family on her way to become a nun due to her, because she has a special connection with the Virgin Mary. And also they made a great deal with the convent, a financial deal.
You have to pay a dowry to
Yes.
get in. Yes.
They run into robbers on the trip, and she's a very precocious child, and she's like so pissed off she calls out the Virgin Mary, like, strike them, and a bunch of birds come and shit on this guy's face, right? And they're like, what? Right? So that's when you know, like, it's not, it's serious and it's not serious at the same time, because she conjures. It's like she conjures. So they leave her alone. We fast forward 18 years. And now she begins to have visions from Jesus, who has told her she must marry him. This starts the papacy on an investigation. And then the relationship with Bartolomea is exposed. Blasphemy. It involves something to do with the Virgin Mary and something like that. Even though the movie is pretty graphic in its relationship, it just really isn't really the point. The point is really about the world around them, what this sets off in the world around them. And you see the different, you see how this kind of the hierarchy in the and I have to tell you that, and I'm never quite sure that Benedetta is on the up and up.
She's not on the up and up.
When your turn comes, Patty.
but Sue!
You know, you're not, it's kind of like, wow, she's a really interesting character, because that's it. It's like, how much, because she does see visions. On the other hand, she takes them to the most opportunistic places she can take it. Mm. It is actually her downfall. So, okay.
Page 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Okay, but I have to mention the exceptional performance by Charlotte Rampling as the abbess before Benedetta, who she actually takes it from. She's really, really good.
Felicia.
Yeah, the Mother Superior, you know?
Mm-hmm. And the love relationship.
Yeah. Well, the love relationship is interesting. It's really interesting. It's very graphic. And I didn't quite understand why they had to do that. But on the other hand, it's good because you're seeing what they see. You know what I mean? Through that kind of hole in the wall they have there. You see what they see. And you can imagine in 1600s, this is quite... I don't know how to say it. Like blasphemy.
No, well, it's not even forbidden. It's not even conceivable to them. That's the thing that made me laugh. At one point, they're investigating. No, women can't have sex together, right? That's what made me sort of laugh at that.
Go ahead.
But yeah, no. I understand what you're saying too about the spirituality, because for me, this is a movie that I was watching. I thought, oh, it's Paul Verhoeven, and as you probably saw, he's done a very strange films, or the credits you saw, which was Basic Instinct, RoboCop. Even before that, he did a movie called The Fourth Man. That's why I sort of know him. It is so weird and surreal, and yet it's all based on sex as well. So when I'm watching this movie, I thought, okay, he's going to go this way. And I did not know this was based on a true story. I just happened to find that later on. But I said, what in the world is going on in this movie? Because I'll admit, I was confused. Because Benedetta, as you're right, not only she's having these visions, she also is supposedly having stigmata happen to her, meaning she is somehow channeling Christ. But the weirdest part, and this is why I said she has to have something, is when that voice comes out. That supposedly is some saint or something, according to what they were saying in the Wikipedia, that she's channeling some saint. I don't know if you remember that, when she comes out with the man's voice, right? And it's like, you're right. Is this a con? But when you hear the voice, like, no, that's a man's voice. This is not a woman's voice. I couldn't even, if she had tried to do a man's voice, maybe I would have said, "Oh, that's a con." But this was distinctly a unique
Well,
voice.
that's why I kind of
Yeah.
thought it was interesting. He doesn't really answer the question for you.
No.
He puts it out there.
He just says, "Oh, this is what people have witnessed historically, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is why we're putting it in there." And so that's why I will give it to that Virginie Efira. I thought she was excellent
Yes. Yeah,
playing
she
this
was.
role.
She's very
And to
dynamic.
be quite honest, I also thought the woman playing, like you said,
Bartholomew.
Bartolomeo, Daphne Patakia,
Yeah.
that she was very good. But you're right, Charlotte Rampling's excellent in this, as
Yes.
always. I
As
think she's such a
always.
great actress.
Because her role is more subtle. You know what I know? Her emotional reactions are more subtle.
But she's a force.
Yes.
But see, that's the funny thing, because here she's witnessing this, and it's like, as the mother, and she is a true mother, I think, because that's the one thing where she calls the daughter, right, Kristen, his daughter, or Christiane. But the part is that she's a believer. So in a way, I think she really wants to believe that. Oh no, she does have something.
Right.
But what's funny, and I think I agree with you about the French do such fascinating stuff about women.
Yes.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Usually women going mad. I will say that. But
Yes.
psychologically, women characters are always fascinating to me in French films. For some reason, now Paul Verhoeven, he's Dutch. So, but the fact that it was in French, I thought, okay, that sort of fits in with their theme.
I was actually thinking it was going to be Italian because it was
Well,
in
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's
It was
the
in
thing.
French.
I didn't see. That's
And it
why I
was
didn't know.
French.
I actually thought it was in
too.
France,
Me too.
only until you said that. I had
Yeah.
no idea it was in Italian. But what I thought was sort of interesting was the fact that, again, they're having to be judged by men. You could see men using it to advantage. Like, oh, this one church gets a lot of people because they have this going on. Oh, maybe we can get people to come to our church if we have her and we venerate her. And then the papacy, of course, all men are sent out to investigate. So it is sort of fascinating in that aspect. And I don't see this as a truly as a female-driven kind of,
No,
movie.
other than it's a nun.
Exactly,
Yes.
and then
The characters are
the,
none.
and the females having a relationship, but it's just sort of a fascinating story. In fact, out of all the movies, I thought this was the most interesting one because it's like this is the only one I sort of remembered enough. I didn't have to watch it a second time. It's like, oh no, things were pretty stunning, and she's right. The scenes are sort of graphic. Even some of the how would you put it? The sexual toys they actually come up with. I thought that was fascinating. And even though it's hidden, it's like, again, that's where I would hide it too if I was going to do
Well,
something
you know,
like that.
Bartolomea.
Yeah.
Bartolomea. I actually found her the most sincere character in this.
The young girl?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because she was the most honest. It was
Yeah.
that
She
the
was
most
a, like
honest.
she had a terrible thing happen to her. She was very upfront about her she wasn't a con artist.
No.
She was
No.
just a survivor.
Right, because she was abused by her
Yeah.
father.
That her
fact, yeah, I
brothers,
thought she was-
everybody.
Exactly.
I thought she was nuts in the beginning, and then I go, wait a minute, who's nuts? The other
No.
one's
Who's the
nutty
real
now.
nut?
Yeah, who's
And
the
then that
real
was
good for
nut?
her.
That's what I felt bad too, because after that she gets into the almost like the Inquisition, from the papacy Inquisition. It's like, oh no, this poor girl. And I thought she's the one suffering the most. And that at the end of the movie, it's like, okay, she seems to be okay.
She's
So-
a toughie. She's a toughie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you said, she is a true
Survivor.
survivor.
She's a survivor.
Yeah.
Okay, Patty.
I found this a really interesting movie, and I would actually see it again.
Yeah.
And I would mute the sex scenes because they just get boring to me. But I thought this movie was really about what I don't like about religion. It's the political hierarchy, and thrown in there at that time period was superstition and the wanting to believe. But more so, I saw political ambition with everybody, except for
This
Bartolomea.
Mother Superior.
the Mother Superior, Charlotte.
Charlotte
was-
Rampling.
yeah.
Rampling.
And the girl,
Yeah.
and the young girl.
Mhm.
But to me, that was it. And but I can't ever say her name right.
Benedetta.
Benedetta really was aware of, and so was Mother Superior in the same way, but she used it different. Mother Superior was more honest. She knew the game, but there was only so far she could play it, whereas Benedicta could go all the way.
Benedetta.
She really had a politician mind. And I think the other main thing of the movie is you're always given doubt and a belief that her, like the stigmata, when they show the glass and it's like that I thought was fake. The visions, probably not, but she knew she had to amp them up.
Yeah, she
You know,
used them.
She used them for no good. Right.
Yeah.
No, actually for survival,
Yeah.
to get where she wanted
Your
to go.
personal gain.
Well,
yes.
I don't
Yeah.
think she used it for survival, whereas Bartolomea,
Yeah.
how do you say it?
Bartolomea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like she was looking to get ahead, which
That
is
was her thing.
different.
Yes. Yeah, she wanted, and I think it was it the Inquisition that were torturing her?
Well, basically the papacy, because they had found out about supposedly the relationship. So
Right.
that's why they said, "Oh, well, we're going to torture her. We
That's-
can't torture the saint because they're afraid of."
Because they want to build up a church, you like
Well,
make
no,
it popular.
the fact that they knew the repercussions. Oh, if the whole village thinks she's
Saint.
exactly, basically a saint, you know, she's not a real saint, but to them, she's just such a holy woman who has these visions of Jesus, and they can't go after her.
and why it was
But
such a
I
good
actually
thing.
think she did
Hmm?
have visions of Jesus. Because
I don't know. There's always doubt.
No, because remember when she was going to the cross and when he was calling her, like he was.
But
like,
how do
with
we know
the
that's
shape-
not in her head?
It is in her head.
I mean, how do we know that's true vision?
The
No,
movie
that's a
listed that
vision. She's
Well,
not
but
planning
that's-
that.
it
That's
listed that you
true.
know if she's pretending or
no,
not.
No,
right.
no,
She's-
Yeah.
Exactly.
no, because it's a vision for her.
Mhm.
She's not sharing this. She's just seeing this, right? And it's like, but the thing with the stigmata and that is her.
Right. So, but I think
But
the
there was
interplay.
also-
let me
but there
finish.
was-
The interplay
Yeah.
between doubt and believing is all through the movie, which is I like.
Oh
that.
yes,
Yeah, they
right,
do that,
right. No,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it is ultimately about faith.
And why they picked a nunnery, which I thought was great because it
Oh
really
my God, I
concentrated.
love that.
Tuscany.
Yeah, what?
Tuscany.
Tuscany.
It was
Yeah,
in Tuscany.
It's in Tuscany, right? It's because, but the nunnery is perfect because it's all women, and the focus is also on how women were treated
Mm.
in that time period, and you get it all centered in one area, so there's no distractions really. They're like the center.
Well, they're kind of worshipped and have because they're the nuns, right?
Right.
But on the other hand, they're also have this huge hierarchy above them. That's so it kind of
Right.
it was just interesting. It was just
It was
interesting.
truly interesting.
Jorge.
Me. Yeah, I actually I like the movie. I thought that it was great performance by Kim Cattrall. I mean, Virginia. I kept saying she was like a young Kim Cattrall. The you know,
Who
I like
reminds
the,
you of Kim Cattrall?
the Benedetta. The
Oh,
main
yeah,
girl.
yeah.
She
Yes,
looks
she
just
does,
like you
yeah.
know she's
Oh wow.
from
That's
you know
interesting.
back in the police academy the
Porky's days.
Porky's days police academy. So so the well say the movie obviously is French, so it's French, you know. So you know
It's
it's French. It's very French. I thought there were some scenes that not for me, but I thought some scenes would be considered sacrilege, you know, with that
Blasphemy.
blasphemy, yeah, like some, you know, like some of the things that she was accused of doing with certain objects. So I'd be like, oh my god, we're going exorcist over here. I really like the her vision sequences.
Yeah.
They were really good. I thought that was you know just the whole the way they did it. Like I actually like the scene with where she has all these snakes on her and
Yes, that was the best scene with the snakes.
yeah,
I
and Jesus
agree,
comes with a
yeah.
sword and shoot, like a ninja, just cuts them all off.
But I thought, how phallic is that? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yes, exactly. The movie does have those kind of like a phallic thing going on
But
there.
remember, she says to Bartolomea, she says to her, "Your body is your worst enemy."
Mm.
You know,
Those times,
Interesting.
yes.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what they're dealing with. Certain things are considered, you know, you're supposed to stay away from those subjects, but you know, but there's also nature, what's innate in human, and it kind of shows up how you know, like you said, you don't know if she's really having she's really having these visions or not. The movie does make it seem like
Go back
you
and
don't know
forth.
if it's true or not.
Right.
But you also see how the church, the higher ups, in the church, see how they can use this too. Like, you know, she has the crown on her forehead, but you know if she cut herself with the thing or not.
Yeah.
or she got herself on the hands for stigmata. But the church still sees, how can we use this for profit in a way? You know, we can this can bring people to the church too. So, but yeah, I like the movie. I thought there was really great performances, and you know,
Yeah, it was really interesting. And the one thing I would say is when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, wait a sec, what did I get into here? But then it got really interesting. If you just kind of wait a little bit, it gets really interesting. So, okay, Lon.
Oh, I gave this a 6.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Patty's having a heart attack.
Patty?
I gave it an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it an 8 too.
I gave it a 9. I was still thinking about it after. I was still thinking about, is she, you know, when somebody has something, and it's so true.
What?
You might have an ability and you enhance it.
Yes, you exploit it.
And
somehow.
she exploited it. That's what I think.
Well, she was very
But what
political.
do you
Also,
think?
Paul Verhoeven,
What is
he
that
was
damn
did a movie called Elle
Yes.
about a woman that's raped and
Right, and that was
a lot
the
of
same
people-
actress.
Yeah.
The
And apparently that one
version-
got a lot of
Exactly.
accolades.
Yeah, it is really a movie that makes you think, and you really can see it, and it's a true story. So that's what I'm going to say about that movie.
All right.
Okay, take us out.
So we'll be back.
So what's the next one?